Malaysia, it's one of those countries that has been on my travel bucket list forever. Culturally rich, diverse, bold, with this incredible contrast of the modern and the traditional. And let's face it, Malaysia does have some pretty interesting beauty traditions and practices.
Station berikutnya, USJ 7.
The Mossy Search is all about hydration!
Religion, weather, and cultural norms play a huge role in the beauty trends in Malaysia. I do think it's important to note that 63.5% or more of Malaysia is Muslim, which does have an impact on the beauty standards and perceptions in the country. In fact, there was actually a study that was done of Malaysian women, and they asked them, what makes a woman beautiful? 63% of Malaysian women said that religious faith and spirituality are things that make a woman beautiful. Now, as I was doing a deeper dive on beauty trends and traditions in Malaysia, I did discover that historically, the country has really put an emphasis on K-beauty and Eurocentric beauty standards. Specifically, being light-skinned is something that has been revered in Malaysian culture. Now, over the last couple of years, the younger generation has been rebelling against this messaging, really trying to shift the narrative and embrace different ethnicities, races, skin tones, heights, and genders into what is the standard of Malaysian beauty, which is quite interesting. This rebellion in itself deserves a completely separate deep dive and video. Now, while the evolution of beauty standards and practices in Malaysia is quite interesting, what actually drew me were some of the really interesting, rich, deep cultural practices that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. For example, drinking tea or creating tinctures from different herbs and spices. For example, nutmeg being something that's used in Malaysia. Or creating facial masks from things like tapioca powder and cucumber. And Mandi Bunga. Now, I first learned about Mandi Bunga from Instagram, to be honest. I was scrolling through Instagram and I stumbled on a photo of someone who was just in this luxurious, amazing floral bath. It looked like a complete dream, and I had to learn a little bit more about what it was. And after I learned that it was called Mandi Bunga, I had a million questions. How did this originate? What are the health benefits? What is the cultural significance? And when would someone actually decide to do Mandi Bunga? And with all those flowers, did it smell like running through a fresh English garden? So when I finally had an opportunity to visit Malaysia, I decided I had to try Mandi Bunga for myself. And the perfect place to do it was in Kuala Lumpur. Now, Kuala Lumpur is the capital of Malaysia and its largest city. It really is the economic and financial hub of Malaysia. So I found Teratak Spa, which does Mandi Bunga baths, and I decided to head over there so I could finally try Mandi Bunga for myself.
All right, guys, we're finally here at the Teratak Spa. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's head in for the treatment.
So when I first arrived at Teratak Spa, they gave me tamarind juice, which was super delicious. And what I didn't know, it is rich in antioxidants and a ton of different vitamins, including vitamin B and vitamin C. It is also said to really improve the digestive system and to help flush the body of toxins. As I was waiting around for my treatment, I got to roam around the spa, which was also really cool. They had a ton of different traditional items, things that were just really interesting to look at. Then it was finally time for me to go into the spa. First, my treatment specialist washed my feet, and a foot washing is a step that is traditional to Malaysian culture and many other Southeast Asian cultures. This practice is rooted in a ton of deep religious and cultural beliefs that could probably also be a separate video in itself. My treatment specialist used, kaffir lime, which is also said to have antiseptic properties, as she was washing my feet. So wait, let me first explain a little bit more about Mandi Bunga and the cultural significance of the practice. So Mandi Bunga, or flora baths, are actually found in many different cultures. So not just Malaysian, but also in Chinese and Indian culture as well. And the reason why someone would actually do a Mandi Bunga bath does vary. One of the most known reasons is that a woman who's looking for a husband, looking for a mate, will do a Mandi Bunga bath to cleanse herself and purify herself, and it's said in that process it will help her to attract an ideal mate. People also do Mandi Bunga for good luck or good fortune. Mandi Bunga baths are actually said to prevent calamities. So a ton of really interesting reasons for why someone would actually do a Mandi Bunga bath. But there are people who just do Mandi Bunga because it is relaxing and rejuvenating. I mean, you get to lay in a warm bath with beautiful flowers that smell wonderful. So it is something that is just a part of a general wellness practice. Now, if someone is doing a Mandi Bunga bath for magical purposes, a bomo, a Malaysian shaman or medicine man, will actually very carefully oversee the process. The bath is typically comprised of 7 different types of flowers, but just depending on the purpose of the bath, it may have other ingredients. So some of the other ingredients include coconut leaves, betel leaves and nuts, and then of course kaffir lime leaves as well.
Some delicious cookies and warm water. I am enjoying this too much. I could get used to this. This is absolutely magnificent. The bath smells like you just stepped into the most incredible garden.
So I just want to quickly interrupt the bath experience and say that, you know, it was pretty cool laying in a bath of flowers, and it just was relaxing, and it smelled so beautiful. Something I'll never forget.
I get to luxuriate in this bath for another 10 minutes or so. I'm going to soak up every moment. I highly recommend this. This is quite delightful. I wish I could soak in flowers every day in my bathtub. Maybe I should. This is such a cool way to just make your bath time even more special.
Now, 2 notes. My bath wasn't that densely packed with flowers though, and the water level was lower than I thought. The bath was incredible, but I do want to cut and show you what I thought immediately after I left the bath.
Hi everyone, I just finished my Mandi Bunga experience and it was absolutely incredible. I feel so relaxed. My skin is incredibly soft, and I smell like lime and fresh flowers. I just recommend that anyone should try this. It's just a really rich, beautiful experience. And it's been such a great adventure. So on to the next adventure. Till next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
So after reflecting a ton and just thinking about the experience, and quick spoiler alert, I did get to try a different style of Mandi Bunga in Bali, which I will feature in another episode. I must say, in just my humble opinion, that one of the best parts of the bath was just how incredible it smelled. It really does smell like you're in the middle of this beautiful garden with all of the fresh flowers in the bath. But there is a downside to that. Because you are using fresh flowers, there are some small ants and like little bugs. Nothing too bad though, but I don't think you can avoid this because the flowers are picked so fresh. So just one note before you do Mandi Bunga. Now, I'm not too sure if it brought me good luck or fortune, but we'll see, I guess. It's something I would definitely try again. It was, an incredible, really grounding experience, and I'm very grateful that I got to try it. That's all for now. Until the next adventure.